Okay, so never really done this before, but I figured screw it. I'm just gonna jump right in and I guess we'll just figure things out as they go. Uh Wanted to make our first video as kind of a starting point, I guess you could say. Like, hey, this is what we have, this is what we're working with, and from this point forward, everything will just get better. So this is our side yard. Our property is just under a half an acre, so it's not quite a half acre. I think it's like 0.49 acres or something like that. Um, but this is our side yard, and this is where the most of our open space is currently, and it kind of goes around and wraps around to the back of the house, which I'll show you in just a second. But so back here, right here, we have this little gazebo building thing, and eventually we're gonna work on that and kind of update the roof and stuff, because the roof is like crap, really, and there's like holes and stuff, and there's a window that I guess got shattered, and the people before us like just covered it with a piece of plywood and then spray painted the whole thing really super ugly green. And I'm sure one day I'll give you a close-up on that. Not today, because there's snow everywhere and just ew. Anyway, back here we have, it's actually two little metal sheds back there, which they decided to also spray paint a really hideously ugly green, which we probably won't do anything about because I'm lazy and I don't really feel like making it a different color. Maybe, maybe not. But this shed here that's closest to us, we're going to be refurbishing it, I guess you can say. We're going to kind of make it a chicken coop. And then the one next to it, farther away from us, we're going to be making that one kind of the garden supply, gardening stuffs, chicken feed, extra hay, all that kind of crap is going to be in there, stored in that other one. And we're basically gonna fence this little square back here off for the chickens, so it'll be kind of penned in. We did have, I want to say we had two trees right there, and we had like a tree and a big thing of bush, kind of like this little weird bush thing here. We had that over here, and Mark chopped it all down, which is freaking awesome because now it's gone. We also had one of these ugly bushes over here. There was one right here. It's been cut down because sitting in those lovely snow-covered boxes is a big wooden playset that we got for the kids that will probably be put somewhere in here. So that had to get cut down so that I can look out the dining room window and see the children. Can't really see it from here because it's over in this corner where I just can't quite get the camera view. Mark built me two big compost bins out of 55-gallon food grade barrels that we went and picked up at the flea market. And this fence here from there all the way to the house was not here when we moved in. We had that put in with a double gate so we can get stuff in and out. This fence back here is kind of shoddy and screwed up. We met the neighbor back there, back in this house back here, and he said that the lady that lived here before us didn't really do much of anything, and that he has been repairing that fence for a few years. He does have a big German Shepherd, so we're probably going to call the guys that did this fence over here to come and repair that fence for us. But yeah, so eventually we're gonna fix the gazebo. We're gonna make, don't focus on my finger. We're gonna make that a chicken coop. We're gonna make the one next to it storage. We're gonna build raised beds over here in this area of the yard. Right now, the generalized plan is to have 12 8-foot by 4-foot by 4-foot garden beds. This is, I guess, what would technically be our backyard. we've got a super cool little fire pit over there that doubles as a grill. So we don't own a grill because we have that fire pit. And this little area back here, our plans are really just to kind of keep this as a hangout area where everyone can come out and relax and all those things. This little square bed here, there was a little baby pine tree right there. Actually, I really don't even know if it was a pine tree, but there was a little baby tree and it only came to about here. And I cut it down all by myself. And it was a super big accomplishment. And I used a bow saw, and I'll probably never do that again. Anyway, we're probably going to use this little bed right here and build some kind of, just some kind of little shelter for us to be able to store our firewood. Because fire pit's right there, and we've got a fireplace. So we wanted to have a little place somewhat close by to this door here that I'm standing at, so we can just kind of pop outside, grab wood when we need it. And we've got a little swing there for the kids. That will probably stay right there since they're getting the big play set. Just finished canning. I've been canning for the last 2 or 3 days. And this was kind of a tester recipe. It is the Olive Garden Zuppa Toscana soup. And I was testing out canning that. Obviously, there's no dairy or cream in it, but these are the pint jars of it, and it's bacon, Italian sausage, kale, potato, onion, celery, carrot soup, essentially. And I did it in quarts, but I'm not really happy with the results of the quarts. I ended up getting some siphoning in pretty much every quart jar I tried, so we're probably just going to eat that up here pretty quickly. But the pint jars all looked great. Didn't have any siphoning issues with any of them. For those of you that do not know, siphoning is where this liquid comes out of the top during the canning process, and that can happen for a variety of reasons. If you have too much stuff packed in the jars, if you don't have your temperature consistent, if you jostle the canner, there's all kinds of things that can cause siphoning. I'm not sure what caused siphoning in this case. My guess would be I have too many solids. My solid to liquid ratio in my quarts aren't very good, so that's probably why I ended up with siphoning. But yeah, there's that. So this is my pantry, and this was more or less just a little square room, and there's no door closing it off, although we installed a baby gate so that my son couldn't come in here and wreak havoc. We call him the tornado, for a reason. So I built these shelves. Me and Mark did it together, but I drew up the blueprints and everything like that for these shelves so that I could fit my canning jars. They are measured, as you can see, to fit quart jars with just a little bit of wiggle room. So, the pint jars look like there's quite a bit of unused space, but that's okay because they were built for the purpose of fitting quart jars. In this, we have a bunch of our excesses and more canned goods, and that's all empty jars down there, and more supplies. I know I have a buttload of rings. People who also can are probably going to tell me, oh, you're keeping too many rings. I just keep all of them. I pick out what I need. I use them as I need them. If they get nasty and rusty, I throw them away, and then I have loads and loads of backups, so don't judge me. Or judge me. Either way, doesn't really matter. So yeah, so all my canned goods that I've been doing, I just canned some ground beef the other day. This is my clam chowder base. So it's all of the clam chowdery stuff without the cream. You can see I had a tiny bit of siphoning in this jar, but not much. This is the 1-inch mark, so it wasn't a whole lot. The jar next to it looks much better. But yeah, so this is the canning stuff. This room is essentially complete. I don't think there's really anything else we'll be doing in this room as far as updates, with the exception of adding more things to the shelf when it comes to canning. And then we have these closets back here. They had doors on them. Mark took them off so that we could access them better because they were the weird accordion doors and I hated them and they just got in the way. So this side of the closet, from what my hand is covering up, is all just storage stuff. It's mostly my craft stuff sewing things, crocheting things, paints. I've also got my instruments crammed in there as well. Same with over here. Down here is just storage for that craft stuff. This is just craft stuff. And then we've got soda over there, you know, again, judge me, don't judge me, whatever. So yeah, but this top area over here is Mark's. That's his little keg from the batch of beer that he just brewed. It's now currently empty. But that's also where his mead will be made, brewed, fermented, whatever. And that back there is just some raw, unpasteurized, unfiltered honey that I found so that he'd have more honey for his mead making. This side, that's obviously fabric. But over here is my fermenting side, and this is kombucha that's been brewing for about 8 days now. It's ready to go. You can see my scobies are nice and big and thick and healthy, and that needs to be bottled for second fermentation. These are fermented lemons that I did. Kind of testing the recipe. It's not anything I've actually done before, but apparently it makes it so that the peels are edible. You can use them in recipes. You can eat them as a snack, what have you. So we will see how those turned out. I put thyme that I grew in there with it. And then this is my sourdough starter, which I just fed her day before last. And I fed her with a little bit more than what I normally feed her, so it's taken her a little bit to come back, but the bubbles are forming, so she's not quite dead, but she smells lovely. And then down there is my big sauerkraut crock, which is currently full with green cabbage, red cabbage, and carrots, even though the entire thing looks pink currently. But yeah, so that's all I've got to show you for now. We'll post as we go. Hopefully I'll get something a little bit better to use than this semi-crappy digital camera that won't let me zoom in or out. So there's that as well. I hear a baby crying, so I'm gonna have to go get her. Cream cheese was coming down to let me know. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Share with your friends.